Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi, hi. Good afternoon and welcome. Um, Please, I'll need you to confirm that you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please let me know. All right, Danladi. Good afternoon and welcome. Please, would you be kind to help me drop a message in the group to let everyone know that we are now live and that they can start joining? Thank you. Hi, Solomon. Good afternoon and welcome. Be kind to help me drop a message in the chat to let others know that they can start joining. Hi, Michael, I can see your message. Good afternoon and welcome. Be kind to help me drop a message in the chat letting everyone know that we are live and that they can start joining the call. Thank you very much as you do that. So we'll just be waiting for some 5 minutes so as to enable others to join the call and then we'll start. So by 2:07, we should actually kick off this conversation. All right, Danladi, thank you very much. Yeah, so how are we doing today? I hope we're all doing fine. So, yeah, like I said, let's just wait for a couple of minutes. By 2:07, this is 2:03 at the moment, 2:04 now. Irrespective of the number of people that have joined, we'll just simply commence and continue with why we're here. Yeah, so if you are just joining, welcome. Please note that we are just holding on for a couple of minutes, 3 more minutes. We'll be starting this at 2:07 precisely. Thank you. Hi, good afternoon and welcome. If you are just joining, thanks for coming on board. So we are just waiting for about 2 more minutes before we commence. We are counting down to 2 minutes past to 7 minutes past two before we commence. Hi, Gloria. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. And I hope I'm audible enough. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly. Welcome, welcome. If you are just joining, welcome. We're just counting down to another 60 seconds. So at exactly 7 minutes past two, we'll be kickstarting this session. We're just holding on for as many people as possible to join in. Thanks for joining. So in the meantime, you can just leave a chat in the comments, letting us know where you are joining us from. Some of you are already conversant with the content of my slide. Depending on how frequent you are with LinkedIn and depending on how much of my previous sessions you've organized, this isn't something new to you. However, it is necessary and important, and I really hope that we get value for our time on this session today. So we are just going to start. It's exactly 7 minutes past the hour of two. So today's session, as you can see, is mastering LinkedIn, and we'll be looking at how to build your personal brand in 6 steps. So slide number one is asking the question why your LinkedIn brand matters. And as you already know, your brand doesn't always have to be a business as against popular opinion. Most people believe that when they hear the name brand, that it means business. So you as an individual can be the brand. So for instance, myself that you know can be a brand. My brand can be whatever comes to mind when you hear my name. So each time you hear the name Derick Biakolo, what comes to your mind without someone having to explain to you? That exactly is the brand. So we have brands like MTN, we have brands like Glow. We also have brands that could be individuals. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, individuals can also be brands. Okay, so for instance, Aproko Doctor now that you know is a brand. He's not exactly a business. He's an individual, but then he has positioned himself in such a way that he is a force to reckon with. So when you see his videos or his content, you recognize the brand known as Aproko Doctor. So first reason there is that it is the number one professional networking platform with over 900 million users. What this is saying in essence is there are almost 1 billion people and professionals actively using LinkedIn. Okay. And the world population is currently at 7 billion plus, almost 8 billion, if not already 8 billion. So that means almost 1 billion out of this number of people in the world, a considerable percentage are on LinkedIn. Then you can also see that 75% of hiring managers look at LinkedIn profiles before making decisions. So this means that your profile is not just it's not for fancy. People utilize your profile, right? Do not be surprised if for any reason you are applying for a job now, filling out a Google form, application form, and there's a space for you to drop a link to your LinkedIn profile during the course of application. This is because people need to see what you have been up to, they need to see your experience. And as you know, your LinkedIn is supposed to be like your digital CV, right? Your CV in pictures, in videos, in posts, and in knowledge, in experience. So beyond your CV, where you can just say, "Oh, I attended this school," or "Oh, I have worked with Jobberman," or "I have volunteered with LinkedIn Local," or "I have volunteered on the Mastercard Foundation project." In writing, your LinkedIn profile should carry activities and initiatives that you have initiated yourself or that you have been a part of. Okay, then the third reason we can see here is that a solid personal brand builds credibility, it attracts opportunities, and it sets you apart. So now credibility is basically saying that you can be trusted, you can be an authority in your field, you can be a trusted source, you can be a trusted individual because people can see that you have active experience. So for instance, those of you who know me in person, you know what I do for work and you can attest to the fact that my LinkedIn profile is a testament of what I do for work. Anything and everything I do for work is duly represented and covered and accounted for on my LinkedIn profile. Okay. Then that shows credibility. Then it also attracts opportunities in the sense that, as you already know, people can do more, or they can refer you to do more, or they can possibly even patronize you in the event that patronage is one of your service offerings, maybe as a consultant. Hi, Obina. Good afternoon. Welcome. Yes, and then it sets you apart. It sets you apart. My connection is unstable. Okay, it's back up now. Apologies for that. It sets you apart, as you already know. Let's say 101 people. In fact, typical example now is anyone and everyone who is a Jobberman volunteer, right? A Jobberman M and E, a monitoring and evaluation volunteer. Knowledge, we currently have over 200 volunteers, and we would potentially be onboarding about 20 more or 30 more. So in 230 volunteers, how many have a boastful LinkedIn? Not boastful in the wrong or negative sense of it. A LinkedIn that I would see and I would be proud to identify with. A LinkedIn profile that when someone asks me that, oh, I need someone in Ogun State, I need someone in Benue, I need someone in Katsina, Adama, who can work as an M&E volunteer, and they ask me and I recommend you. They now ask me to share your LinkedIn profile. Would I really be satisfied with your LinkedIn profile? Or would I be thinking twice and saying, oh God, this person's profile is not even showcasing all that they have been doing over the years or what they currently do? Okay, for want of time, we'll check the next slide. So this shows the power of an optimized profile, since I have already touched on. Your link, because most people will see you before they see you in person. Hi Lucy, good afternoon and good afternoon and welcome. So like I was saying, your LinkedIn profile is your first digital impression. I remember what they say about first impressions, right? First impressions matter, first impressions, this, that, and all of that. The whole point of this is that you need to make a good digital first impression. So when someone sees your profile, would they be impressed? Would they want to carry on the conversation? Or would they want to be turned back from continuing the conversation? I promise you, you can have a splendid CV and someone opens your LinkedIn profile and they are unimpressed. And someone with less experience but a better positioning on LinkedIn would probably get the opportunity ahead of you. Hi, Toka. I don't know who this is, but hi, Toka. Good afternoon and welcome. So, moving on, it says that an optimized profile increases your visibility by up to 31 times in recruiter searches. So, as you know, many people, you would see testimonies of how many people have been found on LinkedIn, they've been headed, they've been poached. Even myself, I've been poached at least once on LinkedIn, and one other time just by a mere Google search, right? And people have also still attempted to poach me in ways that I have declined or turned down. Why? Because I have a good first impression and an optimized profile. I can tell you there's every likelihood that if you search for MEL, monitoring, evaluation, research, and learning, not Derick now, or you search for data protection in Nigeria, you search for NDPC, apart from official bodies, I would be one of the top profiles that you would see. Maybe not the top in terms of years of experience, but in terms of activity, I should be somewhere up there, right? In terms of field engagement, in terms of office work, in terms of experience, in terms of learning, certifications. So, what I want from all of us is to ensure that we are not just giving ourselves to Jobberman, giving ourselves to the foundation. We are also taking advantage of Jobberman and the foundation by updating our profiles and optimizing our profiles to the maximum. So, thirdly, it says that it helps you stand out and connect with your ideal professional audience. Yes, so if you are seeing this WhatsApp group, either my peer mentorship WhatsApp group or Emani Volunteers Village Square WhatsApp group, this is something I've done before, but I need you all to share your LinkedIn profiles and connect with each other, follow each other, because how else do you build your professional audience if not from your immediate environment and from the immediate circle of volunteers that you are working with? Some of you don't even follow and connected with me on LinkedIn, which I think is very poor. You can absolutely do better, right? You would love it, or it would be advantageous to you when someone searches for your profile and you know how LinkedIn does, and they show that, oh, Derek is a mutual connection. It gives you more credibility, like we spoke about, shows that there is this level of familiarity or closeness. We will still talk about recommendations. You can ask me for recommendations. I would be glad to share recommendations with you, even amongst yourselves. You can also do just that. So let's look at the next slide. So now this is how to complete your profile. Now, this is very personal to me because so many times I see the profiles of so many volunteers and I am not impressed. Hi, Abubakar Tijani. Good afternoon. Welcome and thanks for joining us. So, moving on, like I was saying, I see the profiles of some volunteers and I am not impressed, which is why I decided to even put this session together because, like I said, you need to utilize the opportunity that's available to you. So, first of all, you need a professional photograph. Let me look at my chart at the moment. So I can see Gloria has a professional photograph that was taken in a scene. Lucy, your photo almost looks professional. Selfie, I'm not sure, I can't make it out entirely. Abubakar Tijani, this also looks professional. Yes, I believe this was taken in a photograph. And then the rest of you do not even have any picture whatsoever on your Gmail or on your Google profile that you are joining this session with. So now this is also reminiscent of so many of your LinkedIn profiles. A lot of people, just the same way you currently do not have any picture here, same applies to your LinkedIn profile. So I need you, while taking your birthday pictures, right, in the studio, and you are celebrating God's grace upon your life, use the opportunity to take one nice picture from one nice angle that will be useful for your LinkedIn profile. Okay. Then you also need to add a cover photo that illustrates your. So a cover photo is one of those long images that's just behind your profile photo, right? Your profile photo can be my screen, just the shape of my head, this angle where your that's your professional photo, your headshot. While your cover photo would be much lengthier, like in the background, towards the top of your screen. Okay, then you also need a descriptive headline. So your headline should show and tell people what you do. So if you are confused and you have questions, you can always ask in that and I can respond. And also you can take a look at my LinkedIn profile. So at the end of this session, I will be sharing my profile for you to model, use as an example. See the way I have crafted my profile and try to replicate the same thing on your profile using your information, not my information, right? So a descriptive headline. Then, in fact, there's a screenshot of my profile somewhere in this slide, so you'll definitely be seeing it at the end or as we go along. Then you also need to write a summary that tells your authentic story. Okay, so all you have to do is to summarize something that shows your experience. So beyond your CV or your work experience or school experience or academic qualification, you need a professional summary that outlines in narrative or in prose format to say, oh, my name is Derek, I'm a graduate of this, I have experience working in this, in that, and all of that. Then you need to add your work experience. This is a non negotiable. So all your volunteering experiences should be up there. All your work experiences should be up there. Any gap you've had, maybe academic gap, right, or professional gap, if there was a period of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year where you were neither in school or you were just in between jobs, you weren't exactly doing anything, you can also itemize it there to capture and account for that space as some sort of academic leave or professional leave, to just account for that time. Okay. Then you also need to list at least 5 relevant skills. So since we are mostly M&E volunteers here, let's say your skills should involve what? Data collection. Data collection, right? In fact, you can still go further by saying accurate data collection. You can still say evidence gathering. Evidence gathering is still another word for data collection. The only difference with evidence gathering is here we are now talking about proofs. So, like video proofs, picture proofs, or in the mail space, what we call MOV, methods of verification. So, beyond paper and pen, numbers, and data, MOVs would include pictures and videos, or even, if possible, audio recordings. So, when you do FGDs, that's focus group discussions, right? My AC is not on. Apologies. When you do focus group discussions, you have to also have audio recordings of these files. So, like I was saying about skills, data collection, evidence gathering, reporting. Reporting, this is something you all do. You do reporting every day, so you can put it there as an additional skill that you report. Okay, you can also put interviews. Remember that in the field, you interview one mobilizer and 4 participants. Is that correct? I'm waiting for some sort of response. You can either like the video or give me a chat just to be sure that you are with me. Thank you very much, Ernest. At least I know you are following. So I've already given you 4 skills, right? Then fifth skills could also be conducting FGDs or note taking. Reporting can serve as note taking, or conducting FGDs, supporting FGDs, taking notes during FGDs. These are relevant skills that people need to know that you have. Hi, Abdul. Good afternoon. I didn't realize you were here with us. Thanks for joining. So these are 5 skills that people need to realize you have in the M&E space. So you can see I've already given you answers to top 5 relevant skills you can use to populate your profile. If you do not memorize it, you can always come back and watch the video, and you can also check my profile to see the skills that I itemized. And finally, please do not lie. If you do not have the skill, please do not lie about it. Then, for those of you who have data analysis skills and certifications, please do not leave it out. It is ultimately very useful, not just in M&E, but in literally every single business that exists out there. So let's move on to the next slide. So step one, your profile photo. I've already touched on some of this, but I'll just hit some key points here. It says that it's your first chance to make a good impression. Use a high resolution professional photo if possible. I've already experienced what that is, but for the benefit of those who might have missed it, high resolution, it should be taken with a digital camera, not just your phone. Yes, phones are good and all of that, but there's always a clear difference between a professional photo that's a high resolution image. Okay? Then avoid selfies. I've said this. Aim for head and shoulder shots with good lighting. So for instance, my picture that you can see now is terrible. The lighting is terrible. The image quality is terrible. The background is just bad. The clothing. So this cannot suffice as a LinkedIn photo. Okay. So please make sure that you avoid selfies. Then your expression should convey confidence and approachability. So a typical example I would say is Gloria's current photo. In Gloria's current photo on this chart, we can see her head, we can see her shoulders, and if I'm not mistaken, we can see her hands as well. And she's putting on a broad smile, and her shoulders are high. You know, she's not slouching, she's not slanting, she's not leaning, she's not just sitting and, you know, looking odd and all of that. So you need a professional photo, not just professional from the angle of the photographer, but from your end, it should convey confidence, approachability, smile. Don't be like me, don't have a straight face. Even in my pictures, I try to smile. Then profiles with a photo get 21 times more views. Now, this is the trick. When you search for my name on LinkedIn, you all know my name. I assume you know my name. When you search for my name on LinkedIn, you might see several profiles. But I promise you that the one that has my picture would be the one you would most likely click on. So basically, put yourself in the shoes of an employer or a HR person who is trying to find a monitoring and evaluation expert. It is most likely profiles with solid professional pictures that you would click on or that you would prioritize ahead of profiles that do not have any picture whatsoever. So let's see the next set of slide. So yeah, profile photos. So choose the right background. So if you are seeing my screen, you would see that the background to the left that is ticked in green that shows an approval. They are clear background. They are not busy. They are not clouded. There isn't so much happening in the background of these pictures. But in the background of the pictures to the right, you will notice that there are other people, there are other buildings, there are other activities, there are other writings. As much as they are professionally taking photos, it's best to have a photo taken indoors, right, or in a photo studio. And even if you take it outdoor, make sure the background is clear. So basically, where I am right now, if you can see, is not giving. You can see the ceiling, you can see two light bulbs, you can see a fan, you can see a stand, and all of that. This sort of background doesn't suffice at all. Okay, you can even still take one in your house, but make sure that the wall is clear. So the same way you would take a passport photograph where they will say white background, cream color background, or red background, the way you take passport photographs, that's the way you should take your LinkedIn professional photograph or headshot. The background should be crystal clear and devoid of any activity or any person. So you also need to dress appropriately, considering that we're in the professional space. Thank you, Solomon. Considering that we're in the professional space, you need to dress and appear appropriately. So anything you cannot put on while going to work in an office, right, should most likely not be on your LinkedIn profile as your professional headshot. So you can see the guy to the right putting on this red like beachwear. There's this lady with an armless shirt and you can see her straps. Then there's this guy with big bold written text on his shirt. Then there's this other lady with some blue buba looking and head scarf with glasses and hair, not looking exactly professional and clean cut. But if you look to the left, the one that sticks with a green tick, you can see how they are all looking professional, right? Plain colors, no text, button shirts, no off shoulders, no revealing shoulders or arms, no armless shirts, and the likes. So, yes, this is exactly what it should look like. So, please, my hope, my genuine hope is that after this session, I will see changes. So, this session is not one of those sessions that is for the sake of session. My genuine hope is that I will see changes. I would see profiles in a week's time or in a month's time, and there will be genuine changes. Please, if it means you investing in visiting a photographer, investing in buying shirts, investing in taking pictures because it's an investment. This is not pictures for WhatsApp status or for Instagram or WhatsApp profile picture. In that space, anything goes. If it means you actually visiting the studio, buying some shirts and having options, please do it. I promise you, you'll be surprised at the results that a simple picture can get you. Then good lighting. Yeah, as M and E volunteers, was it not yesterday somebody took a picture in the dark, and I think Lucy responded to that person that you saw all the lights. I think it was Alvin, if I'm not mistaken. It was Alvin yesterday. He took a picture and it was just looking dark, and we could not even see his face or even identify if he was the one, right? That's one of the many issues. So make sure that there's good lighting and you are facing the light. In fact, I had to put on a light in front of me. You would now see that the light is moving. I had to put on a light because without this light, the quality of my system's webcam isn't exactly pleasant. And I also had to face the window. All right. So I'm not backing the light. The light is not shining from behind me, if you understand and if you get what I mean. It's not coming just from the side or from one side. It's not blinding the camera lens and the like. So these are factors that you should consider, and examples have also been given. I'll also do well to share this slide if it helps you. Then frame your shot. So you can always use a frame, right? Remember, head and shoulders, head and shoulders. So if you look to the left of my screen, you see that everybody's picture is within head and shoulders, head and shoulders. But to the right, you see this person, their face is awkwardly zoomed in. The other one is lying down in the grass. We can see her hands. The other one, we can see his from his head, his shoulders, his chest. We can see his waist. We can see his hands on his knee. This is how Nigerian pastors snap posters for church programs. They'll put their hand on their knee like this and pose. No, please, we're not doing any of that around here. Then this other guy, you can see that he's out of frame. He is more like to one side of the screen. If you can see this guy with high afro hair, is like occupying only half of the screen, and then there's all this space that's not being utilized. So frame your picture, make sure you are in the middle. It's restricted to your head and shoulders. My head, my shoulders. You know that song. So yes, we can move on. So step two, your cover photo. So you need to use a background photo that represents your brand or industry. So if you're a medical personnel, use a background photo that it doesn't even have to be a text. It can be an image that conveys a message. If you are into data collection, it can be an image of someone holding a tablet or a phone and utilizing Kobo Collect. If you are a data analyst, I beg your pardon, you can use the image of a dashboard that shows someone analyzing data, working with pivot tables, and converting it to charts. Just use it such that it conveys a message. And when someone sees it, before they even read anything, they can say, oh, this person is in the agri space, this person is in the media space, this person is into content creation, this person is into data collection, data analysis, or photography, and the likes. So it also says that your cover photo is prime real estate to grab attention, which I've touched on. You need something that grabs attention, and please do not leave it blank. A lot of us, we have blank cover photos. Please do not leave it blank. I cannot overemphasize this, okay? Some people, their organizations even design cover photos, and when you join the organization, they give you a cover photo that should be there. So you see maybe the MasterCard Foundation logo or the Jobberman logo or their office address or their business details, so that once you see it, you see, okay, this is the face of this profile, this is the organization, industry, or sector that this person is working in. Hi, Tabitha. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. So, moving on. Yes, this is my cover photo. This is a screenshot of my profile. So, from my cover photo, what can you deduce? You can see my picture, my headshot. So I'm not just telling you do this, do that. I'm actively doing it. So you can see my photograph, you can see my headshot. Then my cover photo, you can see an image showing data and padlock. That's basically communicating data privacy. So if you've been following my LinkedIn post for some years now, you would know that I'm very big on data privacy, and I've facilitated some sessions on data privacy, emphasizing why you shouldn't even just give out people's contacts without even getting approval from the owner of the contact. And like I always say, do not blame ladies when they ask you guys that, where did you get my number from? It's only normal that they establish how you manage to get their contact when you are not a scammer, right? So why should you just contact someone out of the blue? Moving on, you can now see in the middle, there's this graphic animated design that shows different type of charts, a pie chart, a wave chart, a bar chart, that just shows data analysis. And then finally, you can see something that communicates media. You can see a picture icon, you can see like a YouTube or video icon, you can see a text or comment icon, you can see a blog post icon, something that just goes to show that, oh, maybe I'm a content creator or I'm into the media space as well. So summarily, you can just deduce the different industries that I work in. Then you can see my full name, and then you can remember some slides ago where we spoke about the headline. So this isn't even your summary, it's your headline. So you can see monitoring and evaluation, mail consultancy, data reporting, presentation design, non-profit consulting, program management, training, videography, video editing, brand consulting, personal development. So this headline automatically shows you and tells you what I do in case you don't already know. And I strongly believe that if you are currently on this session, at least one of the many things that are on my professional headline, you can identify me with, right? I believe that that's public information by now. So nothing here should be new to your hearing, okay? Then in addition to headline, your headline shouldn't just include what you currently do. It should include what you can potentially do or a service you can offer to people, right? So let's say you are trying to break into mail consultancy. You can add it to your headline so that people will know that you are interested in this field and you can potentially work in this field. So that when someone searches mail consultant on LinkedIn, there's every likelihood that your name, your profile will pop up. Okay. Video editing, content creation, personal development, and the likes. Anything you currently work in and would potentially work in or would are interested in working in, please make sure that it's on your headline. So you can also see that this is another example of Blessing Gabor. She's a data product manager, customer relations executive, service excellence champion. She's driving customer satisfaction, experience, and success. She's a book review curator, shares insights on customer centric solutions. You can see her headline is there. Then look at her cover photo. Her cover photo outrightly expresses everything she's interested in or her field of work. Now you can also see two company profiles just beside her name. Let me also go back to my own profile so you can see this. So make sure that at least maybe your personal brand or the company you currently work for or work in is displayed on your profile. Okay, now next up we can see Tom Plan. He's the Chief Marketing Officer, North America at the Kraft Heinz Company. I know I believe or I assume we should know Heinz. Heinz, Heinz, please indicate. Heinz that makes mayonnaise, that makes salad cream, that makes ketchup, and the likes. So he works with them. And if you look at his cover photo, you can see a Heinz ketchup, a Heinz macaroni dripping with cream on his profile photo, on his cover photo rather, right? Then his headline is already showing exactly what he does. And you can now see the company that he works with or the institution he attended on his profile. Then this is also another example. This person is into artificial intelligence and technology. You can see she has summarized her social media and her interest in her cover photo and her full name, her headshot, her headline, the institution she attended, and she's currently self-employed. You can see all of this is visible on her profile. Three, we're almost halfway there. Go beyond your job title. You need to highlight your expertise, passion, or career focus. So anything you are currently an expert in, like I said in your headline, put it there. Anything you are passionate about, even if you are yet to find work in that field, please put it there. Your career focus, it can be broad. Then use keywords to make your profile searchable. Like I said, whatever is displayed would form part of the results people would see. Now, let me give you a trick that I used. Let's review my profile once again. You can see that I put monitoring and evaluation, then I put mail consultancy. So that means if you search monitoring and evaluation, you should see Derick. If you search for mail, you should see Derick. If you search for monitoring or only evaluation or mail consultancy, you should see Derick, right? It wouldn't have been enough to just consultancy or monitoring and evaluation consultancy or mail consultancy. You can see that it's just one job role in one sector, but because they call us mail, they call us M&E. What did I do? I put it there in full and in abbreviation to ensure that if someone decides to use either of both search parameters, there's every likelihood that they will find me. You can choose to be the person who conducts the search, right? Just to be sure. Then be unique. Be unique. I don't know how else to define uniqueness for us, but just have your own style, be your own person, have your own brand. Don't necessarily copy. Don't do something because Derek said so or because Derek is doing it. Uniqueness lies in your interest, in what you are passionate about. If you are passionate about girl child education, please be bold and speak up about it on your LinkedIn. If you like to take pictures, take your pictures and share. If it's videos you like, take videos and share. If you like to volunteer, please do just that, right? If you like to teach, document yourself teaching and share. So be unique in your own way. Don't just say, okay, it's that is raining today, or it's M&E that is raining today, or it's content creation, or it's data protection. Find your own niche, find your own interest and stick to it. And stick to it like you have no other business. Then movie trailer mentality. Movie trailer, so basically a movie advert. So before you go to the cinema, you can see a 5 minute video clip that attracts you to go and spend 2 hours and spend money. So you're not just spending money, you're spending money and time. A 5 minute trailer would attract you so much that you would already be invested in the movie. Then you realize that the movie is not even that what caught you, and you kept watching for 2 hours thinking there will be a climax, and at the end of the day you were left disappointed, right? But I hope that you will not be disappointing people that find you on LinkedIn. So use a movie trailer mentality. Be concise and leave people wanting more. So like I've explained, whatever you do, whatever you post, whatever you share, the way you craft your profile, the way you craft your post, make it short and make people always want to come back for more and always look forward to your post. Then refresh regularly. It's not enough to just update your profile once and forget about it. So once you can always review your profile. So I would assume that you have taken a new course, you have added a new skill, you have monitored several trainings, you have traveled to a new state, you have changed a new job, you have gotten a scholarship to study something for free and all of that. So update your profile regularly. Then use vertical to break things down. So there's this vertical bar, like straight lines. If you check my profile, let's see if I have it on this current profile. You should be able to see it. So for instance, this current profile here, you can see that between IBM and Fortune, just a straight line. Between one point former Amazon, there's a vertical bar. Between public speaker and Ali K. Miller, there's a vertical bar. Between TikTok and AI, there's a vertical bar. So that basically explains my point. Use vertical bars to break things up. Then these are samples of headlines for a sales professional. So there's no need to look through all of this, but this is just to show you variety. That one person, sales professional, can use five different headlines. Okay. So let's just move on for the sake of time. These are five headline examples for a marketing these are five headline examples for a project manager. So if you work in the development space, you can also look into project management. Project management is really a big deal in the project and in the development space. You can go ahead and make sure that you get certification, risk management, and the likes. So let's move on. So step 4, we're almost there. You read more than any other bio about you online. Use your 2,600 character limit wisely. Tell your story, not just. Then you can highlight achievements, your values, and what makes you unique. And always end with a call to action. So, for instance, please subscribe, like, comment, follow for more. Let's connect. Don't assume that people know what to do. If you want people to connect with you, in some instances, you have to tell people to connect with you. So do not ever assume that they know what to do. In most cases, people need to be told what to do. So imagine doing an advert for a business and not putting a phone number and saying, if you are interested, call this phone number. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call Derick on 081 blah blah blah, or send an email for inquiries, sponsorship and partnership to Derick this at gmail.com. That's the idea. Always use a call to action to let people know that please comment, like, share, subscribe, follow, let's connect, and the likes. So, and lead hooks the reader. So, the first three lines that you are using in your about section should be able to hook the person till the end, should be able to hold their attention till the end for them to want to read the entire paragraph. Then tell your story, focus on the narrative, include relevant keywords to help recruiters find you in search. So, for instance, in my headline where you see Mel written as MERL, Mel, in my about section, I'm going to write it in full: monitoring, evaluation, research, and learning. So that when recruiters are searching or finding, they can eventually see that, oh, he or she does this, or he or she has this certification, or is experienced in this field, and all of that. Okay. Then make a concise snapshot of your professional history and success. Focus on achieve accomplishments, not roles. So focus on, I have worked in space, I have worked in the agrochemical space, I have worked in the telecommunication space, I have worked in the education space, right? Make sure you mention your professional history and your successes. So, as a customer service agent, I was able to blah, blah, blah. As a classroom teacher, I was able to this and that. As a mentoring and evaluation volunteer, I was able to, the rest. As a mail associate, as a sales and marketing ex- client executive, account officer, I did this, I did that. Use percentages. So, still on this same slide, you would see certain spaces where people's headline mentioned in numbers and percentages. So, for instance, imagine someone like me, I'm writing my about section. I'm going to write boastfully, not in a negative way, that I have managed a team of monitoring and evaluation volunteers on the MasterCard Foundation project, the Young African Works project, in collaboration with Jobberman across 10 states, and we successfully expanded to 15 states and over 200 volunteers. Do you understand the logic? And contributed to the training of over 2 million alumni in soft skills Are you seeing the logic? So focus on accomplishment, not just your roles. And finally, like I said, stand out by including numbers and data. And please do not lie, do not exaggerate, okay? Don't overdo it. Then step five, second to the last, is list current and past roles with a focus on achievement. Use bullet points. So I've already touched on this. Measurable impact. I increased sales by 20% in Q3 of 2023. Then you can highlight relevant internship, volunteer work, freelance project. So it doesn't matter whether you are getting paid or not. If you are doing pro bono work, you are doing free work, you are getting paid, whether it's paid or paid internship, volunteering, freelance, please list and itemize it. So imagine something like this YouTube session, which is one of the many things I do that I'm not getting paid to do. Guess what? It will most likely make it one to my YouTube channel and most likely to my LinkedIn, where I would even share a link for others to see so that when someone says, we need someone to facilitate who is experienced in doing this thing, they can see that I've done a freelance or a pro bono impact work and I'm passionate about this thing. I hope it's adding up. So we have 9 more minutes, and that brings us to the last step. So, step six, your skills. So, you need to add at least five relevant skills that align with your career goals. So, remember what I itemized to you, five relevant skills. So, do you know public speaking? This is in addition to what I said before. Do you know public speaking? Do you know how to train and facilitate sessions? Do you know data analysis? Do you know how to edit videos? Do you know how to take notes? Do you know how to shoot videos? Do you know how to create content? And not just five relevant skills. Make it the top skills that you are most proficient at and the skills that you also desire to work in. Okay, for instance, I've been a classroom teacher before and I'm good at it, but do you think I want to go back to classroom teaching? Absolutely not. So it might not be among the top five ranking skills. Then you can seek endorsements from colleagues or mentors. Like I have said, please feel free to reach out to me if you need me to give you a recommendation on LinkedIn or an endorsement of your skill or your time since you have been volunteering or since we've known each other, either personal recommendation or professional recommendation. And vice versa, I might also need your recommendation. Okay. Then within yourselves, like I said, as far as you're on the same group, share your LinkedIn profile, have people follow you, follow them back, connect, and seek for endorsements and recommendations. Now, the skill section increases profile discovery by over 30 times. So that means if your profile is currently lacking, you are in the wrong. You are slacking. If your skill section isn't up to date. If you check my skill section, you will be surprised as to how many skills I have put there. Michael, what did you separate with a dot? But if you are talking about using vertical bars, please change it. Don't use a dot. Use vertical bars in your headline. Use vertical bars. Okay. Then your skills is one of LinkedIn's quickest wins. So as you already know, there is every likelihood that people need your skills. So like I said, data analysis. By the way, if you don't know data analysis, go and learn it. Go and learn data analysis. You shouldn't be existing right now and you have no clue how to do basic data analysis like pivot tables or converting data to a chart, cleaning data, presenting data, interpreting data, and the likes. Please learn data analysis, both quantitative and qualitative analysis, reporting. Please learn all of this, especially if you're in the M&E space. Okay. So, moving on. So, these are key reasons why you need to optimize your profile. Number one, you need to improve discoverability. That's how easily people can discover you. You need to establish professional credibility. People need to see you as a professional that knows what he or she is doing. Then networking opportunities by connecting. So many of you who have attended some of my previous sessions where I have invited Both foreign and local speakers, trust me, it happened because I networked with people both in person and online. Some of those people I've never met. It's online conversations to the point where they discovered me or I discovered them. We both have professional credibility and we've networked and we've connected to that point. Then job opportunities. I've said this before and it can't be overemphasized. If your profile is not optimized, trust me, many people might not take you seriously, especially when you do not come highly recommended. So if you come highly recommended, where someone asks Derek, like I said, oh, I need someone in Kano, and I say, oh, there's this guy I know, I can recommend him. That's one thing. But if that person in Kano doesn't even know Derek to ask Derek, what happens? They will most likely search, okay? And you need to be found. Then your digital first impression, we've touched on this. And you also need to establish thought leadership. So, thought leadership, if you are into video creation, content creation, talk about it. If you are also into LinkedIn optimization, which is one of the things I'm doing with you right now, talk about it. If you are into monitoring and evaluation, talk about it. Okay, if you're into customer experience or research, talk about it. Data analysis, talk about it. Share about it. You get a new certification, talk about it. What did you learn? Talk about it. And then, so this is the slide of the facilitator who had these are her details. You can also connect with her on LinkedIn. She's in the US, she's an American, and that's her email as well. But other than that, so we can take questions in the next 3 minutes. Thank you all for coming around. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions so that by exactly 3 p.m. we will end this session. So we have exactly 2 minutes left. Questions, comments. Okay, it's kind of quiet in here. So I guess I don't know if I've done justice, but I hope I have tried to an extent. And I really hope I've not been just speaking to thin air or just speaking to myself. Either ways, thank you all. So I'll assume someone is typing or not. But whatever the case, once it is 3 p.m., I will be ending this session. Okay, we have 1 more minute left. This is exactly 2:59. So at the strike of 3 p.m., I will be ending this call. So I believe I've done justice. I'll also be sharing this link on the WhatsApp groups for all of us to see. So you can always come back to it. I'll share the slides as well as promised. And you can also share with other persons or in other groups or with people who you believe this would be useful to so they can learn. And please, like I said, do me the favor and show me gratitude by optimizing your profiles. Don't just attend this session and move along. I will be very pained if I see your profiles and I do not like what I see. I carry God beg una, I beg. So it is 3 p.m. Okay, that lady says, thank you for this session. It is nice tapping from your wealth of knowledge. Who am I? I'm also learning. Oh. Faith says, thank you. This is a lot. Faith, thank you too. Thank you, Dan Ladi. Thanks for your kind words. So it's exactly 3 p.m. I will be ending the session in about 30 seconds. So thank you all for coming around. Expect the link and the slides shortly. So bye guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time. Yes, Ernest, my guy. Thanks a lot. Hope Bauchi is fine today. Hope you're enjoying the holiday. Thank you for coming around. Okay, ending this session in 2, 1, bye.